talking before the break, Tom, about Sabatino and Amarante being good buddies. Of course, they were assistants at one time, and you know all those stories.
Yeah, well, Sab was at Bellaire for 13 years. He was Gene's assistant, I believe, for 11 of those 13, so they're certainly familiar with each other. Talking to Sab, he said, hey, I know Gene inside out. He knows me inside out. He said there's going to be a lot of difference in this game in terms of we're just going to try to attack their weaknesses, and he's going to try to attack ours. It's going to be a little different look here tonight because we just know each other too well. But, yeah, Kim Clifford was down at that bunch, so there's three pretty good coaches, spent a lot of time down at Bellaire High School for a number of years.
Watts working on Materkoski. Brinker. And Clint Lekanudos, number 10, is checking for Bellaire, and he gets the block.
Yeah, of course, Clint is the normal starter for the Big Reds. Had a little problem with missing practice the other day, but he's back in the game now.
Allen gives it up to Clint Lekanudos. Outstanding year at tailback for the Bellaire Big Red football team. A lot of memorable moments from that year. I can remember Lekanudos on the interception against Edison. What was that a big play for the Big Red football team?
That certainly was. Of course, we did that game too, and it was a great one.
Materkoski, in and out. Hill with the rebound. Here's Watts, the Frosh. And Martin's Ferry going with the youngsters in there. Pugh, the sophomore, Watts, the freshman. There he is, number 10. Big game against Bridgeport with 15. Martin's Ferry's 2 losses come at Buckeye Local in Barnesville. Pugh works his way in there, and he can't get the easy one to go, and Hill commits the foul.
Yeah,
how did Ralph miss that one?
Well, that was a great drop step, and unfortunately he just did not finish off the play, but stay with it, big fella, because that was a great move. You know, as he gets, should I say, bigger and stronger, I don't know how much bigger and stronger he's going to get, but as his game develops, Mike, he'll make those shots easily. But that was a great drop step, great move, and as Ralph's career progresses, he'll make those shots. Talking about Justin Hill, Coach Sabatino said this kid is a competitor. Of course, he was a quarterback in football, Mike, but he said he has a linebacker's mentality, plays hard every minute he's on the floor.
All those quarterbacks do. Chaz Colby at the free throw line. Big Ben Taylor is back in. He's standing at the division line at half court. Schmidley, who gave him some workmanlike minutes, is out. Call at the free throw line. Too strong. Usually doesn't miss foul shots. That time a little too strong. Chaz Call's complete game is not with him just yet. As the season goes on, he will get better, believe me. Watts, another Martins Ferry break. Bellaire turns it over again. Watts, nice dribble drive. Too strong, but there's Pugh. Short again. Big Ralph. He's looking for a call, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, Ralph's doing a great job of getting that ball in low, but just needs to finish those plays off.
Now Grant Allen, considerable size advantage on Watts, and he wants it, he knows it. Good drive by Lekanudos, but he's fouled on the drive. Who'd they get, Davis?
Yeah, it looks like Chuck Davis going to pick up the foul there.
They got Chuck Davis, that's his first personal.
Taylor doesn't appear to be 100%, and Porter's going to check in. I'm not sure if Benny's going to be able to go tonight. Of course, he played the state championship game with a dislocated shoulder, so we know he's a competitor, but real tough to play basketball when your ankle's bothering you.
And we have yet to see Bellaire's trainer, Wiggy, tonight. There's Gene. Good camera work. Short on the free throw, Lekanudos. I think this is the first basketball game we've caught on the stage, Tom.
A little different perspective here, but...
Ralphie Pugh inside. Now loses dribble, back out to Davis. 5:37 to go, it's 13-11, Martins Ferry. Davis, left hand off the glass and good. Nice play that time by Davis. The lefty threw it up and got the glass. 15-11, Martins Ferry, as Allen passes on the open shot. Nice look to Materkoski. Richie Materkoski, 6'1 junior, excuse me. Gene Amarante wishes he was 6'11.
Definitely.
Coyne, in and out. There's Hill on the glass. Follow too strong, tipped around. Down to Bellaire. Subs back in. Here's the big man, number 30, Adam Zan.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore, big, strong fellow. We saw him in the reserve game tonight. He looked pretty good, and he's going to be one of the Purple Riders of the future. Coach Sabb said just right now, I'd like to get them all more playing time, but just a matter of too many numbers. But he's a nice-looking specimen, and he's certainly going to be a factor on that football field the next 2 years for the Purple Riders.
Oh, just putting on all kind of bulk, and he looks strong.
Coach Bruni's got to love him.
Lekanudos back to Matakoski to call, who gets Hill in the air and gets him in the air again, but misses on the shot hard. Here comes Chuck Davis. Drops it down for Coyne. Fouled. Cannot get it to go, but they're going to get call for his second personal foul. Chaz Call, the leading scorer for the Bellaire Big Reds, has 2 fouls, and we'll see another Martins Ferry sub check into the ball game. Justin Dunn, a 6'1 junior, very quick, and saw some time in the JV game tonight.
Well, like we said, Coach Sabb can go real deep. He said, if we got to play our 6 through 15, man, he said we could beat anybody in the Valley, but unfortunately you only get to play 5 at a time, and only 2 seniors on the roster, only 1 returning letterman. Ferry's done a great job getting off to a good start here with a 5-2 record early in this season.
Coyne, 1 out of 2. It's 16-13 Martins Ferry. Screen by Call, gets Lekanudos free, and then he throws it away.
Of course, Ferry had a super tournament run last year, Mike, all the way down to the regionals in Athens. Last 3 years, they've had nice tournament runs, gone pretty deep in the district. Coach Sabb said it's because of the schedule we play. You play teams like Bellaire, you play Indian Creek, you play Steubenville. That gets you tough for tournament time.
Dunn the lob to Coyne. Nice D by Call. Starts the break, and Matakoski finishes the break. Good job by Call to keep it alive and trigger the outlet pass for the layup at the other end.
Certainly an unselfish play, which you'll see all night long by all the Big Reds.
Traveling Chip Ray with the call. There's a good shot at Doug Costain. Chaz Call. Now with 3.5 to go in the half. It's 16-15. Bellaire trailing by a point. Let's see if they can take the lead here. Porter to Call. Allen wants it and then has it knocked away. I got it. Nice play, Tom Bechtel.
Good hands. Still got the hands, Michael.
Tell you what, that was a heck of an effort by Bear Bechtel. If you wouldn't have tipped that back in, our buddy Butchie would have.
Definitely.
Call misfires on the 3. And with 3 minutes to go, Ferry turns it back over. Porter, quick hands. Allen drops to Lekanudos, foul, and no basket.
Once again, we see the teamwork that Belaire's been noted for throughout the years. Porter did a great job of hustling up behind that play, getting the steal. Great dish off by Grant Allen, and Lekanudos goes to the foul line, shooting a pair.
Second personal on Chad Brinker, as Chad Coyne and Dunn take a towel. Yourkovich back in 21 as Lekanudos stands at the free throw line. And we've just been handed a monster stat, Tom, as Lekanudos misses the free throw. Tom Alietta, former basketball and football standout in his day. 3-quarter court here, shot on this floor. Can you believe that, Tom?
Mike, I might have scooped you on that one. I was over here yesterday, and I think Tom was trying to relive his glory years with shooting him from 3-quarter court. So, yes, I can believe it.
16-15. We're going down to 2.5 now in the half. Brinker drives and traveled with the basketball.
Well, Mike, this honestly isn't the most exciting basketball game you're going to see, but I think we have to give some credit to Gene Amarante and to Coach Sabatino. But Gene is going to play the tempo and the style that he thinks can win this basketball game. And I know talking to a lot of other coaches in the Valley, a lot of schools wouldn't be willing to do that. A lot of coaches wouldn't be willing to do that. But Gene's thinking is we're going to play the style that gives us a chance to win the game at the end. And to his credit, they're hanging right in this game here. And I do think Ferry has just a little bit more talent level than the Big Reds.
And you're going to win on the halftime score bet we had. Call drills one. Bellaire has the lead, 17-16. Uh-oh. Ralph Pugh. Offensive foul.
Okay, the Big Reds are doing a good job when Ralph catches that ball in the low post. They're doubling down on him, and he's going to need to learn to kick that ball right back out. When they double and triple team you at low post, Mike, there's just nowhere to wield. So he's got to learn to kick that back out. Some of the guys like Brinker now are going to be wide open for them three-point jumpers.
Pugh whistle for his second foul offensively, swing on the elbows and all over the shoulder. He'll go to the bench for the next 2 minutes with Brinker. Yourkovich back in. Underneath the Lekanudos. Off the glass and good, and Bellaire extends their lead to 3. It's 19-16.
Okay, Clint's really starting to come in his own. His scoring's picked up the last 3 or 4 games and starting to get that football out of his system, and he's doing a nice job running the point for the Big Reds. He's got a tough act to follow there, Mike. How about the point guards for Bellaire the last 7 or 8 years? Jose Davis for about 3 years, Scotty Coyne, and a guy named Joe Galloway. Whatever happened to him, Mike?
I don't know.
I know he's sitting in the stands tonight, but whatever happened to him?
His football career sort of fizzled, right?
I think he's doing all right.
What a season he had at Seattle. Joe Galloway is in the crowd tonight. He's behind the Bellaire bench. Sitting with Coach Tubby Davis and Coach Magistro's son. Air ball, uncharacteristic from Call. And now it's down to 1:25 to go. Martins Ferry down a triple with the basketball. Coyne. Blocked by Matarkowski. But Coyne stays with it and scores.
Give a great play by Chad Coyne. Good hustle, staying with it and taking the ball to the glass.
We're down to a minute. It's 19-18 Bellaire. They get it across. Call to Porter. Now down to 55, and they kick it out to Lekanudos, who fakes a 3 and drives. Great move, Lekanudos. Count the bucket and a foul. Lekanudos faked the 3 twice and got the man to bite and drove in. Got the basket to count.
Okay, Clint, last 2 times has really taken that ball strong to the rack and took one in there and gets a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Number 12, Chris Lednick into the ball game. Just a sophomore. He checks in for Porter. As you see, Richie Matarkowski. Nice move by number 10. Got the basket and the foul and not the free throw. Tipped out of there by Matarkowski. And now here's Allen. .32 now. Does Bellaire want one shot here? Well, I guess not. Nice move by Matarkowski. 23-18. Brinker nails a 3, his second in the first half.
A nice looking touch by the junior.
23-21 with 8 seconds. Can Bellaire get up a desperation three-quarter quarter? No. Another nice play by Becko here.
Yeah, I had my hand on the ball more than some of these players tonight, Mike. Only 4.8 ticks on the clock, and Ferry's going to have a chance to launch a 3 here and get the lead. There's a future Purple Rider fan there.
3, 2, 1 as Watts goes in. It counts. So we're tied at 23. And now Gene Amarante wants some words with Costain. We're tied at 23 at the half on what we knew was going to be a low-scoring game, and it has been that way for the most part. Seesaw game so far at the halfway point, tied at 23 at Purple Riders stage here in Martins Ferry. Back after this on News Channel 7.
You're invited to the grand opening. St. Clair Village Homes is proud to announce the arrival of Amish Crafted Patriot Homes. Legendary Patriot Homes surround you with the best in Amish craftsmanship and unparalleled comfort. In as little as 3 weeks, St. Clair Village Homes can have you in your new Amish Crafted home, completed with
23-all between Martins Ferry and Bellaire. Well, Tom, assessments of the first half, we knew it wasn't going to be that up and down because Bellaire wants to control the tempo, which they have for the most part.
Yeah, I think the tempo has been to Belaire's liking. Coach Amarante's got to be relatively pleased with that. He's not pleased with their 1 for 7 shooting from the foul line.
Right.
They've showed good patience on the offense, only taken 18 shots, made 11. That's very good. On the other hand, Martins Ferry, I'm sure Coach Sabatino is imploring his troops, let's get a little bit more pressure on the ball. Let's try to speed this game up, take advantage of the fact that we have 9 or 10 players that can play in this game. So it's just a matter of a little bit more of the tempo being the liking of a Bellaire. But right now, Martins Ferry is in pretty good shape.
And when Martins Ferry has pressured Allen and Call bringing the basketball up the floor, they have gotten some turnovers and some easy baskets off that, I'm sure. Jeff Sabatino wants to do more of that in the second half.
Well, one of Coach Amarante's concerns is taking care of the basketball. Of course, Lekanudos wasn't in there in the first quarter. They were pretty lucky to get out of that first quarter with the lead. Started a young fellow that, quite honestly, just hadn't had a whole lot of varsity experience. Did a pretty nice job for him. But if Bellaire can take care of the basketball, this one's going to go right down the wire. On the other hand, I'm sure Coach Sabatino would like to see a little bit more up-tempo, wide-open style of play, what has now become the Martins Ferry Purple style of play.
Martins Ferry has controlled the boards, but Big Ralph Pugh needs to make some baskets just like that guy right there used to in the white. Joey Galloway from the Seattle Seahawks in the building tonight here as we are at halftime. 23-all here on the stage at Martins Ferry High School. We're back after this on News Channel 7 Sports. 23-all, Bellaire and Ferry tied at the half. Bechtel sitting courtside, or just under the court, as they would say here at the stage. 23-all, Bellaire and Martins Ferry. Whenever these two teams get together, it's always a good game, no matter what sport you're talking about, right, Tom?
Yeah, you could play tiddlywinks, and I think these two teams would be intense. And, most of these kids did play on the football field this year. They're all just outstanding competitors, and I'm sure as this game wears on, you're going to see even more a higher level of competition.
All right, Bellaire inbounds to start the second half. Here we go. It's Clint Lekanudos, Grant Allen, Richie Matarkowski, Chaz Call with the basketball. Finds Matarkowski, and Brian Porter, the other starter for the Big Reds. Davis, Pugh, Brinker, Coyne, and Yourkovich will start the second half for the Purple Riders. Same starting 5 for both clubs. And Davis hits the baseline jumper to start the second half. 25-23, Ferry by a point. By 2 points, rather. By a basket. Baseline, Matarkowski's open, but he can't come up with the jump shot, and Coyne clears the boards. We'll take a look at the halftime stats in a minute here when we get a second. Brinker misses the 3. He had 2 of those in the first half. Lekanudos his way to Call. He has yet to get on track tonight. Porter. Now it's Call. Short. Boy, his shot does not look crisp as it usually does.
Well, that wasn't a good shot selection there, and I'm sure Coach Amarante's not pleased with that shot.
Chuck Davis drives in and hits the easy basket in the lane. Timeout, Bellaire. And while we have a chance, let's take a look at those first half stats. We were tied at 23. Ferry shot 9 of 25, where Bellaire was 11 for 18. Bellaire 1 of 7 from the free throw line, very uncharacteristic. Purple Riders 50%, 3 for 6, and Ferry led on the board 17-11. Ralph Pugh with 6 of those boards. High scorers, Richie Matarkowski threw in a dozen. Clint Lekanudos 5 for Bellaire, the top 2. Chad Brinker 10, and Chad Coyne with 7. Davis now with 4 for Martins Ferry.
Yeah, the big story in that first half was the turnovers by Bellaire, as well as the dominance by the Purple Riders on the backboards. But right now Coach Emeroni wants to slow it down just a little bit. They did take just one bad shot there, but that's unusual. That's uncharacteristic of a Bellaire team. They generally take nothing but quality shots, Mike, and I'm sure he's imploring them just to be patient. We're right in this game. We need to keep the tempo to our liking, not let it get off and running here, as sure Martins Ferry coach Sabatino would like to see it.
So Bellaire inbounds the basketball. And now Grant Allen stumbles with it and controls it. Working on Yourkovich, who now fires it back out to Porter, a little reluctant to shoot the basketball. Bellaire using a lot of the clock. Lekanudos gets his man in the air again and hits it off the glass and in. Clint Lekanudos.
Clint's looked good in the quarter and a half of playing time he's had tonight. Does a great job of taking that ball strong to the hoop, and that's exactly what Bellaire needs.
Riders by a basket. Davis. Blocking foul will be called on Porter.
Mike, I know it's hard to believe, but I think Coach Amarante has actually had to implore his troops to shoot the basketball this year. That's kind of hard to believe when you had Davis and Amarante launching them from all over the court last season, but it's just an entirely different look this season.
Now Bellaire into a little zone.
No way.
That's a man.
No way.
It looked like it from here.
Don't even say it.
Davis. Boy, it looked like it for a second there, but then I saw the four.
Don't even say it. You don't know Gene Amarante very well if you make that comment. He will not play zone. Trust me.
Steal, and it turns into an easy basket for Brinker. Coyne let him. And now it's a 31-25. Largest lead of the game for the Purple Riders. Turnover. Coyne. Good, and now Martins Ferry's pulling away. Another Bellaire timeout. They needed that one. 33-25. Martins Ferry, and Coach Reese is fired up over here.
Well, you know Butchie would be, and this is the style and the tempo that Coach Sabatino wants to see. He wants to rely on that full court pressure and up the tempo just a little bit, force Bellaire into some turnovers.
It's 33-25 on our very first News Channel 7 high school basketball tape delay of the season, Tom. And boy, we got some good ones coming up. Looking forward to Wheeling Park versus Zanesville next week. We got Wheeling Park and Wheeling Central.
Yeah, I had a chance to see Wheeling Central last week, and Coach Taylor has a nice contingent. Of course, Wheeling Park, they have a very deceiving 3-2 record. Just some outstanding talent on that team, and they're going to be fun to watch all season long. Zanesville lost one the other night to a very, very tough Cleveland Heights, but they're going to be a contender in the state of Ohio. So up in coming weeks, we're going to see some real good basketball.
33-25 in favor of the Martins Ferry Purple Riders.
Mike, while we get a chance, I'd like to say something about Warren Hood. Just did an outstanding job of being a host here at the Purple Rider Land, and just does a great job as the athletic director for Martins Ferry.
Anything we want, Warren will hook us up with. That's for sure. Lekanudos works on Brinker. Drives and gets fouled. Good drive by Clint Lekanudos, who is really taking his game to another level tonight, driving to the goal. And you see Doug Costain make the call.
Well, Coach Amarante said he's been real pleased with Clint's play. It's getting, as most of the Big Reds, it's getting better each and every game. Let's face it, Mike, these kids played 14 football games. They were suffering from some nagging injuries, and a lot of these kids are just starting to get their basketball legs. And as the season progresses, Coach Sabatino said, you're not going to want to play Bellaire come tournament time. With Coach Amarante at the helm and the competitors that these kids are come tournament time, they're going to be a tough match for anyone.
At the free throw line is Lekanudos. Makes them both 33-27. Martins Ferry with 4:43 to go in the third quarter here at Martins Ferry High School. Brian Porter works Coyne. Now Coyne backs him down in and gets in a little double team. And that nearly forced a turnover, but it stays Martins Ferry basketball.
Gene Amarani said when you watch this Grand Island play, he's not a real big body, but very physical player. Ball gets on the floor, he's on the floor.
Yourkovich to trigger the inbound to big Adam Zand, who muscles his way in. Chaz Call says, get out of here.
I'll tell you, Chaz is just called on to score, play defense. Just a solid player, good rebounder also for the Big Reds.
Porter finds Matarkowski. That's Lekanudos in the corner. Porter will launch one. Short. He's now 0 for 2 on the season. It's loose and out of bounds. Good job by Kim Traversa keeping the players up over there.
Tell you, how about them Lady Purple Riders off to an 8-0 start, number 1 in the OVAC. Of course, they have a tough game coming up. Martins Ferry will play Bellaire. Greg Boner does a great job down there. The Lady Big Reds, a little bit of an off season, 5-3, but they're starting to come into their own.
I'll see the Bellaire girls basketball team later on this afternoon. Lednick, who has just checked into the game, scores on the baseline.
Of course, Chris was the backup quarterback on that outstanding Big Red contingent this year.
Got a lot of playing time, too. 33-29. Martins Ferry with the lead and the basketball. James Watts, just a freshman who averaged 7 points a game. Brinker partially blocked and will stay here. And these two schools, Bellaire, Ferry, Tom, just so much rich tradition in all their sports and the players that have played in the past and even the administrators that have been sports heroes through the years and gone on to college and pro careers. And Galloway's one of them. Chad Coyne. We've got to talk about Mike Sherwood when you talk about that, as you can see Mike in the doorway up at the top of the screen there.
Yeah, of course, Big Mike was the athletic director at Bellaire. He's since given up those roles to be a principal, but just an outstanding athlete in the Bellaire history.
And now Bellaire throws it away. There's Sab. Great stuff. Dan Boyko on the baseline. Brinker pulls up. Partially blocked. Lekanudos. Brinker wants a foul. Lekanudos says, not here. Now they're at it together. Brinker and Lekanudos. Illegal screen by Call.
Yeah, we're going to have an illegal screen by Chaz Call on that play. And Big Reds right now, of course, are without Benny Taylor. He's on the bench, has his leg extended, and they got a little ice on it, so it appears he may not be back in action tonight.
Coach Amarante didn't like that illegal screen call, but it looked like Call saw it coming and started leaning a little early and wanted to get his shoulder into Brinker before Brinker nailed him. 5-second call on Martins Ferry, so that's a turnover. The young freshman Watts can't believe it.
Yeah, Grand Island did a great job of harassing the ball handler and get a 5-second call from the referee.
There's Gene A. Well, what a job he has done at Bellaire High School.
Yeah, 8 OVAC championships in the last 9 years. The other year, Mike, they wound up as runner-up. They were 19-6 and had a trip to the regionals. So just an outstanding job down in the All-American City.
Who won it that year?
That's a good trivia question. One that I don't know.
Call fires a triple. No good. Lekanudos tries to keep it alive. It's Brinker going the other way. 3-on-2 for the Purple Riders, and Coyne slips. And Brinker takes it up anyway, and it's good.
Hey, Chad
nice looking jump shot.
Chad is just having an outstanding evening. One comment about who won it. I know the reason they lost it was because J.R. Batista couldn't guard one of the players from Baca Local, but that's all I know, Mike.
Oh, tough. Allen and a basket and a foul.
Grant did a nice job of taking the ball strong to the hole and drew the foul from Nick Yourkovich. Of course, JR is one of my friends. He ran the summer league for me this summer, and he's now on the bench with his uncle Gene. And of course, JR was a 1,000-point scorer for the Big Reds not too many years ago. Had a nice career at West Liberty State College. Just finished up last season.
He didn't score 1,000 up there, though.
I believe he came darn close, but you might have me on that one, Mike.
Just a few hundred short?
Maybe. But he did have a nice career, though.
Grant Allen at the free throw line to shoot one. Foul is on Yourkovich. No good. Great hustle by Lekanudos to stay with it, and then commits the foul. Was it Lekanudos? They're going to get on Masciarelli, number 20.
Of course, there's Coach Jeff Sabatino. Done a great job with this Martins Ferry program. Took over a program that only won 7 games in 2 years, and they've been off and rolling in the last 3 years.
Davis to Watts, blocked by Call. Call's second block of the night. And here come the Big Reds, and there's Gene. I haven't heard the stomp that much tonight from Gene.
No, he's
patented Amarante stomp.
Must have a new set of shoes or something. He's been relatively quiet.
Masciarelli, no good. Lekanudos, no good. Call, good. And it counts.
I'll tell you what, with authority, Michael. Chaz did a nice job. The entire Bellaire team, Lekanudos, Call, did a great job of staying on the boards. I'll tell you, Chaz is only 6'1", but he is a good rebounder and goes strong to the glass. And he's been their most consistent scorer throughout the season.
And isn't it how it always happens? You miss, get your own rebound. You miss, get your own rebound. And you finally make it, and the other team commits the foul.
Inevitably.
37-34, Martins Ferry. Brinker checks back into the ball game. It's down to a 3-point game. We were tied at 23 at half, and we're having some more scoring here in the second half, Tom. What's going on?
Well, there is a little bit of scoring, but, Ferry had snuck out that 8-point lead, but Belaire's inching back into it.
Coyne. Here's Davis. Pull up, too strong. By the way, I was the closest on the guess at the halftime score. 25-22. Mike Anthony guess on halftime.
I'll tell you what, impressive.
Well, the only thing I win, right? Call inside. And now Bellaire's within 1. What a third quarter for Martins Ferry the way it started. But Bellaire has come back. Adam Zan mugged. Masciarelli gave him his best shot.
I tell you, I like the way this little fella, James Walsh, distributes the basketball. Did a great job of penetrating and kicking it off to his sophomore teammate, Adam Zan.
Look at big Adam Zan's arms. Did a great job for the Martins Ferry football team this season, and he's coming into his own. Good things are expected from him, both sports.
Yeah, talking to Coach Sabatino, he says he may be a Division I prospect in football.
Looking at that chest, no wonder. And now, there's a lane violation called on Bellaire. And Zan still can't throw it in. Yourkovich awaits at the scorer's table if there's a free throw made. And Zan does cash in. Jeff Sabatino made sure that horn was buzzed.
Yeah, he gave the timer a little assistance on that play.
38-36, the Riders by a deuce with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now Bellaire, I'm sure, will take one shot.
I think we had a little bit of time ticked off the clock there. It was on 16 point something. I can't remember, Mike, but it's down to 14-5. So I think we're going to have a little bit of time put on the clock by the referees.
And now Chris Coyne, the assistant coach for Ferry, trying to help out Doug Costain.
No, I think he was talking to his lovely wife, Kim, there at the scoring table, Mike.
Yes. Doug was or Chris was?
No, Chris.
Oh,
please.
Call with 10 seconds on Yourkovich. Bellaire has one shot. 7 seconds. 6, 5. Lekanudos gets his man in the air and fires off the glass. Call the follow. Another follow by Lednick will not go. We've come to the end of 3 quarters here on the stage at Martins Ferry High School. The Riders by a deuce, 38-36. We're back with the fourth after this timeout.
The tempo is a style that Bellaire likes. Benny Taylor set out most of this contest, and he is their horse in the middle, so they've done a great job. Some of the other fellows, Call, Lekanudos, have done a good job of getting on the offensive glass and attacking that board, and that's what's kept Bellaire into this ball game so far.
Yeah, and Ben Taylor now with the shoe off and the ankle and ice right next to another injured Big Red.
Yeah,
is DJ Sochor, who was the team's leading scorer after the first game this season, or 2, until he got hurt, and I think he's out for the year.
Well, they're hoping he may be back later in the season, but Derek had 20 in the opener against Union Local, and next game he had 3, and they found out here he had a broken hand, so he is definitely out for a while.
As we start the fourth, it's Bellaire with the basketball. Rich Matarkowski, Chaz Call, and that's Clint Lekanudos. Chris Lednick and Grant Allen, the other one, with the basketball for Bellaire, and of course they all touch it to help out the play-by-play announcer. Call gets his man in the air. Good job to draw the foul. And now Yourkovich is wondering why that foul's on him. Well, that's because he got you in the air, and you shouldn't have left your feet.
Yeah, Chaz did a great job of head faking, and Nick went in the air. And 99% of the time, young man, when that happens, you're going to be whistled for the foul.
Now Yourkovich is out of the ball game, and his twin back into the game, Justin Hill. Actually, they're not twins, but they look so much alike, we have to say that. So Yourkovich is on the bench, and not liking that, as Call stands at the free throw line.
Of course, that is one of the luxuries that Jeff Sabatino has. He has a lot of depth on that bench, and when someone picks up 4 fouls like Nick just did, it's easy to look down the bench and find a capable replacement.
Call 1 of 2. It's 38-37, but Bellaire gets the rebound.
I tell you, Blaire's been a little bit atrocious from the foul line, but great job of hitting the offensive glass.
Lekanudos passed on the triple, and they work it around. Imagine that. Matarkowski in trouble and loses it. Another Big Red turnover. Here comes Davis after a couple of pump fakes. Won't go. Coyne ran into Lednick. Good job by number 12, Mr. Lednick. Box out and take that shot.
Yeah, of course, Chris is only a sophomore, and Amirani's been real pleased with his play. He said he's one of those positive type players. Doesn't score a whole lot of points, but at the end of the game, he's done some positive things to help his team.
Bellaire has like 6 of those kind of kids, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Matarkowski passed on an open shot. And Bellaire works it around. Both teams man-to-man the entire game. Matarkowski baseline, too strong. Coyne grabs the board. The Riders want to push it. In front of the Martins Ferry bench. Coyne spins. No shot. Foul. Whistle before the shot.
Mike, in talking to Coach Sabatino yesterday, it was really interesting. Of course, he knows Gene inside and out, and he said one of the things he's really impressed with this Bellaire team is the faith that these players show in Coach A, the willingness to wait, pass the ball, be patient, and take that good shot. He said a lot of high school players wouldn't show that much faith in their coach, but they know they have a good mentor in Coach Amirante.
Now we're ticking down to nearly 6 minutes in the ball game. It's Martins Ferry by a basket, 39-37. They got call for the hold on Pugh. And it was a good call by Chippy Ray.
Yeah, that's a good matchup there. Chaz Call, he's only 6'1". He's in there banging in a low post with big Ralphie Pugh, the 6'5", 240-pound sophomore. And unfortunately for Chaz, that's his 4th foul on the evening. He's going to have to be careful.
And you can't bring Taylor back in. He's getting ice on the bench. Schmidley did see some time as a banger in the first half. See if Gene elects to go with him in the 4th. Good up and under by Hill, but he can't get it to go. It's still alive. Coyne, and he draws the foul. And lands right on Chaz Call, but Call gets right up. There's the ankle of Ben Taylor, Jr., I might add, who's a senior. Grade-wise, I get to see his father here today, Tom.
I'm sure Benjamin is in attendance here.
Oh, I guarantee you that. Usually I see Ben. I haven't seen him tonight.
He's a great fan of High Valley athletics in general.
Brinker back in with 5:55 to go. Ferry by a basket. They led by as many as 8 in the 3rd quarter. And Bellaire whittled down to 1. And it's 2 now. Bellaire has committed 17 fouls to where Martins Ferry has committed 5. Coyne good on both, and now he's heating up. $13 for Coyne. Allen got bumped and got the goal. Count it.
This is what Bellaire needs more of, that slashing penetration to the hoop. Grant did a great job of taking the ball to the hoop, lays it home. He's going to have an opportunity to tie this game up, Mike, with only 5:45 remaining.
You're used to seeing a Bellaire uniform drive to the basket in the last 10, 15 years of Bellaire basketball, and they've made their living driving to the basket and living at the free throw line. As Masciarelli puts back the miss, and Bellaire is scoring when they are driving to the basket tonight. Now Bellaire has a 1-point lead, and Jeff Sabatino wants to talk about it. So Bellaire is hanging around, and they have that 1-point lead here in the fourth quarter with 5:35 to go. I don't see any more Mr. Galloway here, Tom. I think he has checked out.
I'm sure Joey's somewhere, but it was great to see him here tonight. I'll tell you, just an outstanding athlete, and certainly one of the greats in Bellaire High School history.
41-40. Bellaire with the lead. They were trailing by 8 in the third quarter, but have stormed back. There's your scoreboard here on the stage at Martins Ferry.
Of course, anytime you allow to Bellaire to stay in the basketball game, Coach Amaroni will shorten this game as it goes on, Mike. You know, that there's 5:36, but as long as they can stay within that 1-point margin, they're going to shorten this game and keep it to their liking. You know, right now, Ferry needs to do something offensively to get that lead so that they can establish the tempo.
Now here we can hear the immense crowd getting into it here on the stage. A lot of people behind us, Tom, in the auditorium section. Watts having trouble getting up the floor. Breaks the timeline, and now Martins Ferry sets up shop. Tough man-to-man D by the Big Reds. Pugh inside. And he finally made one of those easy ones in there. He missed a lot of those in the first half, but now catches in here.
Well, Ralph's shown some flashes of brilliance, and that was a nice-looking offensive move there.
Call. Gets the Coyne roll. Bellaire by a point. 43-42. 5 to play in the fourth.
Chaz did a great job of challenging the big guy, Ralph Pugh, on that one.
Watts, just a freshman, number 10. Brinker. Back to Mr. Watts. Big Ralph inside, blocked by Masciarelli. It's still alive, and Bellaire has it. And Lednick throws it in front of Masciarelli too far. Incomplete pass.
That was an uncharacteristic fast break by the Big Reds.
Yeah.
I think that's the first one we've seen all evening.
It shocked me. Ralph Pugh not very happy, wanted to call on that last play, but a hold on Lednick. Both teams are in the bonus, so we'll be shooting 1-1. So for the next 4:37, we'll be shooting to finish this one. It's 43-42. The Bellaire Big Reds on the road, and head coach Gene Amarante, the all-time winningest coach in Bellaire history. See Kevin Rosenberry right behind him there, and there's Jared Batista to the right of Gene, and Mike Spigarelli. Same cast of characters at Bellaire year in and year out. Watts good on the free throw line. The freshman in a pressure situation cans it.
Of course, he's been there before in the overtime victory over St. Clairsville. He cashed 9 out of 10 in the fourth quarter and the overtime period, Mike, so he knows a little bit about pressure at the foul line.
I like Watson. He just stands in there and drills them. Good on both, and it's Ferry by a point.
Coach Sab said he's a gym rat, an outstanding hard worker. He's only going to get better and better.
And that's good. Masciarelli, I think Pugh got a piece of it. Masciarelli wasn't complaining about a foul, so I think Pugh might have. Or he missed it that badly. I'm going to give Masciarelli the benefit of the doubt. Coyne with the clock kicking down to 4 minutes. Watts drives in. Gets the basket and a foul. Oh, the youngster.
I'll tell you,
some poise.
You've got to like his style. 4 minutes remaining. He doesn't know about the Bellaire Ferry rivalry. He just Mr. Cool, ice in his veins, did a great job of driving the hoop, picking up a big hoop, and an opportunity for the three-point play.
Now Ferry taking some of the mo out of Bellaire, who had it end of the third and starting of the fourth. Ferry by 4, 47-43. 4 minutes to go in the Martins Ferry Bellaire meeting. Number 1 of the year, I might add. Lednick finds Lekanudos. call, going to the rack. The block on Pugh. Whew, that nearly went. He almost would have been looking at a 1-point game here. He could have made the free throw.
Once again, the unselfish play of the Bellaire Big Reds. Call did a great job of cutting to the hoop. Great pass on the play, and that's going to be the 4th foul on Big Ralph Pugh. And it looks like Coach Sabb's going to go to his bench and bring Nick Yourkovich back in. Ralph Pugh will get a little break.
Pugh with 4.
Yourkovich also has 4, Mike.
Right. But that's Chaz Call at the free throw line. One of the best all-around athletes in the Valley, as Lekanudos tries to keep it alive. Cannot, though, and it's the basketball, Coyne. Lekanudos got away with one there. Watts behind the back. Bellaire turning up the pressure on defense. Now Grant Allen gets his hand in there. It's a turnover. Lekanudos kicks it back out. They swing it to Masciarelli. Boy, they pass up some wide open shots to run the offense. Talk about patience of a team. Just instilled in their heads. There have been 4 or 5 wide open shots in the last 10 seconds, but Bellaire just continues to pass on them. They want something easier inside.
Yeah, they're always looking for the better shot, and here's Masciarelli inside with a nice little easy bunny.
Oh, and it gets the Coyne roll. Woo!
They've got it down to 1, 2:54 on a running clock, Mike.
I want to get interesting here as we wind down to the 2-minute mark. 2.5 to go now. Coyne inside, in traffic, no good. And there's Gene Amarante holding it up. I think he knows what he's doing a little bit.
I'm sure they're going to run a little time off the clock here and make Ferry come out and play some defense.
You will not see anything but a layup or a 2-footer from the black team here. And Gene wants him to go higher. Underneath the Masciarelli. Tough shot, but he hits it. Richie M is asserting himself.
Well, I'll tell you, Richie has the scorer's mentality, and when he gets that ball, he's one of the Big Reds that does look to score.
And Gene is encouraging his troops by 1 on the road. 48-47 Bellaire, 2 minutes to go. What a game.
Well, Mike, you knew it was going to be anytime these two teams hook up. The last 2 years, Belaire's had some pretty outstanding teams, Mike, but both times they came up here to Martins Ferry. Last year, I think the score was like 4 points. The year before, 6. So anytime these two teams hook up, Belaire's certainly been outstanding the last couple years, but Ferry always played on the wire. So anytime these two teams get together, it's going to be a battle. I don't want to jinx Gene right now, but, Bellaire has won 16 of these games in a row. That's just kind of incredible in a matchup of these two teams, considering the series is just about dead even over, the last 90 years.
I was saving that stat for you to bring that up. I don't want him mad at me if Martins Ferry wins the basketball game here.
Well, it's been a well-played game, a very competitive game. At times it's been a little ragged, Mike, but that's to be expected when you have two teams like this that just go all out for 32 minutes. So, it's exactly what we expected. It's going down the wire, 2 minutes and 1 second. Bellaire has the 1-point lead, and exactly what you and I expected when we walked in the gymnasium here tonight.
The stage at Martins Ferry. 2 minutes, 48-47, Bellaire with the lead, and Martins Ferry with the basketball. The freshman, James Watts, didn't start the game, but has played a lot of the second half. Watts in trouble. Backdoor cut, and Masciarelli nearly got a steal.
Bellaire just has relentless pressure on that basketball. They've come close to a 5-second count here a couple times, and you pick that ball up, they're going to clamp you every time. Big fella Pugh checks back in for the Purple Riders, Mike.
Yourkovich and Pugh in with 4 fouls each. That's York with the basketball. Swing it to Brinker. Pugh wants it inside. He's calling for it. Masciarelli is pounding him from behind.
Yeah, there's a great matchup there for the Purple Riders.
Whistle and a foul, and Yourkovich can't get the basket to go. Foul on Lednick. That's his fourth.
Coach Sabb told me yesterday, he said Yourkovich hasn't scored a whole lot, the one exception being the St. C game. He had 20 that night, but throughout the remainder of the season, hasn't been a big scorer. He says, but keep an eye on him in the fourth quarter. He said, come crunch time, he said, this kid knows how to put some points on the board.
Hill is back in. Yourkovich at the free throw line for Martin's Ferry. Short.
Of course, after this game, both coaches are going to look back at the stat sheet, and free throw line is going to be a big factor for both teams.
20 against St. Clairsville, his season high so far. Yourkovich good on the free throws. We're tied at 48 with a buck and a half to go. Lekanudos to call. And it's off of a Purple Rider. Gene Amarante wanted a foul on that, but Bellaire, I was a little surprised, took it down into the paint there with 1:19 to go.
Yeah, I would expect
one shot here, maybe?
They do throw the ball in the backcourt. Well, that's Coach Amarante's style. I know against Meadowbrook, they actually trailed by a point, held the ball for the last minute, 57, and took a shot. So
and won the game.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. Of course, Taylor made that shot against Meadowbrook. Outstanding little turnaround. But yeah, Ferry doesn't come out and press. Oh, big turnover there, Mike.
Matarkowski throws it away. It went through Lednick's hands. Lednick saying to Matarkowski, that's my fault, but that's a little high for anyone to catch. Figured Lednick could catch the basketball with good hands.
That
a little
ball,
too much on that one.
That ball was just a little too high, and nonetheless, it's going to turn over to Ferry, and exactly 1 minute on the stationary clock, Mike.
Wow. So will Sabb sit on it for a minute? I doubt it, but you never know. Here's a near turnover. Foul on Lekanudos. So, Martin's Ferry will shoot two here. It'll be Coyne traveling to the free throw line. As Hill checks back in, Tom.
Talk all you want about basketball, but doesn't always come down to that last minute, the free throw line. You know, you talk about your three-pointers, your slam dunks all you want, but it's the ability to make those free throws in crunch time that wins those tight basketball games.
Coyne with the game on the line. Good. And now, Gene Amarante wants to ice Mr. Coyne.
I've really been impressed with the play of Chad Coyne here tonight. Of course, he was the one lone returning letterman for the Purple Riders. Filled that six-man role a lot last year for that successful regional semifinalist team, and big things were expected out of him. Coach Sabb said the thing he likes about Chad is Chad can play every position on the floor, does a good job. He's a 6'4" guard, but he hits the boards real hard for the Purple Riders.
49-48, Martin's Ferry. Okay, Coach Bechtel, under a minute. What are we going to see here? Bellaire obviously going to hold the basketball if they get it back, huh?
Well, I don't, if they're
trailing, you think?
If they're down two, I wouldn't expect it. But, don't be surprised when it comes to Gene Amarante. He's one of the coaches that is willing to hold on to the basketball. I know that game against Meadowbrook, most of the fans couldn't believe it. But, come down to crunch time, they hit a timeout with 7 seconds to go, ran a perfectly executed play, and Benny Taylor got the little turnaround two-footer to send the Colts to defeat. So nothing would surprise me, but I would expect if they're down two, they'll come down, run a patient offense, and try to get the good shot as they've done throughout this contest.
The services of Taylor are not required here for this fourth quarter because he's on the bench with a sore ankle. He came down on it in the first quarter.
I'll tell you what, he's lacing up his shoe, though, Mike. So,
he has the ice off, and he's lacing it up on the end of the bench, so you never know.
Be careful when you speak.
Coyne. Too strong, and the timeout might have worked. I guess you can say that, right?
Exactly.
Down by one with Bellaire due. Lekanudos going to the rack, has an open lane. Basket is good.
Clint's done a good job all night of taking the ball strong to the hole.
Down to 40 seconds, Bellaire by one. 50-49, the freshman Watts with the basketball. And Martin's Ferry wants to call timeout. They do, with 38 to go. Wow, what a game Lekanudos has played, driving to the basket.
Of course, Clint was on was disciplined a little bit this evening. As we mentioned, he missed a practice earlier in the week, and he lost his starting role, but he's come back with a vengeance here in these last three quarters. Just a great effort, and really been impressed, Mike, with the way he's taken the basketball to the hoop, and that's exactly what Bellaire needs. They have a lot of good passers, a lot of good pickers, and real good defenders, but they need a couple guys to step up, take that ball strong to the hole, and take some of those short jumpers.
There's Dougie and Chippy. Chaz Coleman, Clint Lekanudos both have 11. Matarkowski with 16 to lead the Big Reds. Nice crowd here on hand at the stage. Getting into this one. If you can't get into this one, you don't know what basketball is all about. 49 for the Purple Riders. Bellaire with 50. That's a 1-point edge. 38.6 to go. We'll give you all the numbers. Don't go anywhere. This one's going down to the end.
Of course, if Bellaire fouls Ferry, they will be in a double bonus shooting too. So that's definitely a factor. The possession error favors the Purple Riders.
And Rich Stevens is almost in line to win our little off-camera bet as to what the final score might be. And you said these newspaper guys don't know what they're talking about, right? Here we go with 30 seconds. Watts drives the freshman. Shoots, no good. Rebound nearly kept alive by Yourkovich. It's Lekanudos with the basketball, and Bellaire has it with 20 to play. Lednick, Masciarelli, Allen. And boy, you see the presence of Grant Allen not to shoot that basketball. How many players and teams would have shot a layup right there? Allen,
Well, Mike, that's something they do every day in practice, and I think on that possession, every Big Red touched the basketball. So great job of moving the ball, ran some time off the clock, but once again, it's going to come down to the free throw line. Grant Allen's going to toe the line, shooting one-on-one, so obviously this is a very pivotal one-on-one situation.
Yourkovich is done for the night. Number 21 is fouled out. Three points for Nick on the night. And he'll sit. It's Allen at the free throw line. Missed it. It's a one-point game, Bellaire leading, but it's Martin Ferry with the basketball. Here we go. Watts drives. The freshman takes it in and scores. Long pass to Masciarelli. Foul.
We got a foul on a play.
Great call by Doug Costain as Coyne came around and grabbed Masciarelli. Wow. What presence by the little guy, Watsy, to go in there and score. But now it'll come down to Masciarelli at the free throw line.
I'll tell you, that little fellow Watts, he's cool, calm, collected. We see him there with Coach Jeff Sabatino. But great job by Bellaire of getting the ball out. Masciarelli at the line, shooting one-on-one.
And it's good. We're tied. 51-51. 4.8 to go, and Gene stomping now. What a great end.
I'll tell you what, great ending to just a very intense game.
We might have more to play. Here's Gino. Masciarelli. Bellaire by one. 4.8 to go. Here's Davis driving. He has a man open, likes to shoot himself. The tip, no good. Bellaire wins 52-51. What a hard-fought game, and the Big Reds win a tough one on the road.
Well, Mike, you knew it was going to be very intense, and this one went down to the very end. Masciarelli made some crucial foul shots there, calmly stepped to the line and just knocked him down, and that's the mark of a veteran player. Of course, he's only a junior, but Richie did a super job of just towing the foul line and coming up with two big. Wasn't over till the last second. I'll tell you, it was a nice-looking shot by Davis at the end. Didn't quite fall.
Hey, G! And we'll see if we can get Coach Amarante. Get some post-game comment here.
Thank you. What's that? Okay. Hello. This is Tom. What do you want to do? Come up there?
What a great job by the Bellaire Big Reds to win it by 1, 52-51 on the road. Coach, great job of execution down the end there.
Well, I don't know if it was a great job of execution, but we were fortunate. We had some people step up. When Benny got hurt early in the game, we had Richie Matakowski really scored some buckets for us tonight, and it's great that those kids are getting their opportunity to step up.
We're used to seeing Bellaire basketeers drive to the hole. Clint Lekanudos really drove to the basket well tonight. We're not used to seeing that from him.
He really did. After missing the first quarter because of some problems that we had between us, he came in and really did a fine job. And you got to give Ferry a lot of credit. You know, they played really well, I thought. In fact, they had a freshman just drove the ball the length of the court and laid it in for what appeared to be the game winner. Then they looked like they bumped into one of us, and we were fortunate.
How about the free throws at the end there? Matakowski, cool as the other side of the pillow, I guess.
Oh, the ball, that last one took a victory lap around the rim, but we were happy it went in. Yeah.
An all-around good shot, and our prognosticator of hoops, Tom Bechtel, has a couple of questions for you.
Gene, I know in talking to you the last couple of days, you're really pleased with the effort that these kids put out. Talk about your starting unit and the effort you got from your entire team tonight.
Well, I'd tell you, I've watched high school basketball for 20-some years, you know, and I've yet to see a team that plays as hard as this bunch has. Now, and we've had some teams play awfully hard, but this team just plays above and beyond the call, and fortunately they do because they need to play that hard.
I'll tell you, I thought it was just a great effort by your team, and of course, a lot of games still left in the season, but things look positive here tonight.
It's a big win for us on the road, you know, after we had played well at home against Steubenville and really came up empty at the end of the game, and then to come up here and be fortunate, and the Lords were smiling on us there at the end, and things worked out well.
And it was Tom that almost jinxed you, saying how many straight you've won over Martins Ferry, so I was letting him give that stat.
We try not to think about that too much. We really don't.
But Bellaire wins by a point on the road here. It's a big win nonetheless, 52-51 over Martins Ferry. Well, for Tom Bechtel and Mike Anthony and the whole News Channel 7 crew, and of course the head coach, Coach A, Gene Amarante, of the victorious Bellaire Big Reds. So long from the stage in Martins Ferry. Bellaire 52, Martins Ferry 51, the final score. Thanks for watching News Channel 7 Sports, everybody.